I remember the sunrise that morning, the golden streaks of light touching the horizon, painting the hills of Moriah in fiery hues. It should have been a day like any other, but something felt off. My father, Abraham, usually so steady and serene, seemed burdened, his shoulders hunched as if the weight of the world pressed on them. Yet his voice was gentle when he woke me, his eyes betraying an ache I couldn't understand. "Come, my son," he said. "We're going to worship." I didn't question him. Obedience wasn't just a virtue in our family, it was life. I had seen my father speak to God, felt the reverence in the air when he prayed. If he said we were going to worship, we were going to worship. The journey was long. The farther we walked, the quieter he became. Occasionally I tried to fill the silence, pointing out a bird or asking about the path ahead. He only nodded, a tight smile on his face. And then, when we reached the mountain, I saw the wood for the sacrifice. The blade at his side. My chest tightened. Something was missing. "Father," I asked, my voice trembling despite myself, "we have the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the offering?" His reply chilled me. "God will provide, my son." The climb up Moriah felt endless. With every step, a knot tightened in my stomach. He built the altar with trembling hands, each stone placed carefully, deliberately. And then he turned to me. "Isaac," he said, his voice breaking, "you are the sacrifice." My mind reeled. Was this a test of my faith or his? My heart pounded in my chest as he bound me, tears streaming down his face. I could see the anguish in his eyes, the conflict between his love for me and his obedience to God. As I lay on the altar, I stared up at the sky, wondering if this was how my life would end. My father raised the knife, his hands shaking. I squeezed my eyes shut, waiting for the blow. Then, "Abraham! Abraham!" The voice thundered through the air, stopping him mid-swing. A ram appeared, caught in the thicket. God had provided. As my father untied me, he wept openly, clutching me to his chest. I wept too, not just for my life spared, but for the revelation of a God who tests but provides, who demands faith yet gives mercy. Even now, years later, I wrestle with that moment. The altar wasn't just a test of obedience, it was a crucible where faith and love collided. And in that collision, God showed me what it means to trust him, even when nothing makes sense,